So I want to talk a little bit today about this ending of the festival of Sukkot that culminates in Shemini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. And if you'll look with me in Leviticus 23:36, it explains the eighth day assembly. It says, "For 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. On the eighth day you shall have a holy convocation, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. It is a sacred assembly, and you shall do no customary work on it." And then furthermore, in Numbers chapter 29, it goes into great detail about all of the offerings that are to be brought during the 7 days of Sukkot. Again, Pastor Mark talked about this on the first day of Sukkot, about the 70 nations and all of the sacrifices or offerings that were brought on behalf of them. Numbers 29 talks about this. In Numbers 29:35, if you read with me, it says, "On the eighth day you shall have a sacred assembly. You shall do no customary work on it." And this is followed by one more instruction for an offering. As I've already explained, in Israel, Shemini Atzeret, Simchat Torah is on the same day, but in the diaspora, out in the exile, it's celebrated for 2 separate days. And again, the text in the Torah doesn't tell us why that is. There's no really clear reason, but there's been a few attempts to actually explain this, why the Torah gives us a couple of attempts to explain this, as the Torah doesn't give us a clear reason. And so I found this in Pasikta Derav Kahana, and you follow along with me. It says, "Bayom Hashmini, on the eighth day shall be an Atzeret, an assembly for you." And again, that's from Numbers 29:35. And it says, "The Holy One, blessed is he, said to Israel, on the day of Shemini Atzeret, I and you shall rejoice together." When Israel heard this, they exalted the Holy One, blessed be he, and they said, "This is the day that God has made. Let us be glad and rejoice on it." Rejoice on it or in him. As an interesting thing in Hebrew is that sometimes you can translate this 2 different ways. You can translate it as on it, we can rejoice on that day, or we can rejoice on that day in him. And that's from Psalm 118:24. So Rabbi Abin said, "We do not know if this rejoicing relates to the day or to God." Thus Solomon came and explained, "We will be glad and rejoice in you." Song of Solomon 1:4. "In you, i.e. in your Torah, in you, i.e. in your salvations." I like this explanation. Because when we come and we worship and we praise God and we rejoice on this day, we rejoice on that day and we rejoice in him. Isn't all that we do supposed to be for rejoicing in him? The Moedim are meant for one purpose and one purpose only, so that we can draw near to him.
ביקשתי